Hello, y'all. I'm Blue Dog Politics, here to give you a new presidential election video on what I think things are going to be looking like as we head on over towards November 3rd. A lot of things have changed since my last prediction video over the summer. We've continued to see COVID-19 really take a hold of the headlines. We've seen that the economy is not getting any better from this summer. The death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg is playing a significant role now in this race, and I think that's going to help to motivate both the left and the right. And we also have our first presidential debate coming next week. So I think these last 6 weeks of the campaign, as always, are going to be crucial, but I think that it's really going to help to shape the race, and I think this race could really still go either way. I'm going to get into how I think things stand right now. I've already filled out every single safe Biden state and every single safe Trump state. We're going to go through, we're going to be labeling things as likely, lean, and tilt. I'm going to be saving that tilt category for the states I think are true toss-ups. And you might disagree with this, and that is 100% okay. But I'm not doing this as if the election were to be held today. We're doing it as the election will be held on November 3rd. So things will change between now and then, and this race will get tighter. So just know that going into this video. So if you are a hard Democrat that thinks that we're going to win every single state, you're not going to like this video. And if you're a hardcore Republican that thinks that Trump's going to win every state, I don't think you're going to like this video either. Getting into it though, let's fill in all of the likely, we'll do the likely Trump states first. I have that as Alaska, Montana, Missouri, Indiana, South Carolina. These are going to be the states that right now I think are pretty likely to go to Donald Trump. However, if we're talking about a Joe Biden landslide, or we're talking about Joe Biden winning double digits in the popular vote, he's getting close to 400 electoral votes, these would be the states you'd go to first as the deep red states that are the most prone to flip. And we've seen some polls out of some of these states that could indicate the race being a little tighter than it was in 2016. We have a very hotly contested Senate race in both Montana and South Carolina. We have a contested House race out over towards Alaska. So these races that are going on at the same time as the presidential race could definitely help to bring up Joe Biden's vote total, opposed to Hillary Clinton or past Democrats. But I still think these are going to be states that are likely to go here to Donald Trump. If we fill in the likely Democratic states, these are going to be Nevada, New Mexico, Colorado, and Virginia. And if you see me looking over to my side, it's just so I'm making sure I'm filling in the right states, as well as Maine at large. So as we look at these states, it's almost the exact same narrative as we were looking at with the likely Trump states, these likely Biden states. These are states for the most part that have been trending towards Democrats the last couple of elections. States like Colorado, Virginia, Nevada, New Mexico, these were states that were at one point very much contested, but now many do agree that Democrats have a pretty firm grip on these states. We've seen Democrats do very well in the state of Virginia, holding the governorship, both Senate seats, flipping the state legislature. We're looking at Colorado as no longer really a purple state. We have a contested Senate race here. We have some contested House races like Colorado's 13 or Colorado 3, which could help to bring Democrat vote totals up a little bit. But these are states that I think are pretty likely to go to Joe Biden at this point. This isn't to say that they're all going to go to Joe Biden by the same margin. I think he'll carry Virginia and Colorado by more than he carries Nevada. But these are just states I think that are pretty likely to go to Joe Biden. So with the safe and likely states, we're at 218 for Joe Biden, 125 for Donald Trump. And as we fill in now these lean states, these are going to be states that I don't think are necessarily too likely, but they definitely do have a clear advantage towards one candidate or the other. And we'll start here with Joe Biden. I would classify these as Minnesota, Michigan, New Hampshire, and Arizona. So out of here, we have some pretty big flips. We have Arizona and Michigan as states that I think are going to flip to Joe Biden. These were states that Donald Trump won. Michigan, it was a little bit of a surprise that he won. He barely won that state, but we see consistent polling that shows Joe Biden up here. The Senate race between Gary Peters and John James is definitely becoming a little bit more contested than it was this summer, which could definitely help to bring Donald Trump's vote share up here a little bit than what we thought it might be back in the month of July. But I do think that Joe Biden will win this state. He probably wins Michigan by about between 4 and 7 points. I think that Arizona, another flip from the Republican column. And this is a long-time red state. Joe Biden has consistently been doing pretty good here in the state of Arizona. I think that this is going to be a state that we look at the Senate race to really play a big role here. Mark Kelly challenging Martha McSally. I think Mark Kelly is going to win that one, but that's going to help to really cement in, I think, a Joe Biden win here in this state. If we fill in the leaning Republican states, that's going to be Texas, Georgia, Ohio, Iowa. Yeah, these 4 states I think are all going to be leaning towards towards Donald Trump. Some of these could definitely be a little bit closer, and these are states that I would expect some Democrats to maybe get a little mad at me about, because I currently have states like Georgia and Texas and Ohio, that are really toss-ups. I think either candidate can win, leaning towards Donald Trump. These are states that have in recent years had Republican DNA, and I would expect for these states to go to Donald Trump. In the case of Texas, we do have a Senate race here that could have been contested. Right now, MJ Hager isn't necessarily doing too hot. She is pulling within a little bit here of her Republican incumbent, but I don't think, unless she's able to win that one, I don't think we're going to be looking at Joe Biden to carry the state of Texas. In Georgia, this is a Republican state that's been trending towards Democrats in recent years. We saw Stacey Abrams come pretty close here to taking that governor's seat, and we have 2 Senate seats up in Georgia this year that probably will go to Republicans, but we'll see how the final weeks of the campaign go. And again, I'll talk more about my Senate ratings in another video. But this is a state I think Donald Trump should win. At least he has an advantage here in this state, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Joe Biden carry this state if he's winning the national popular vote by about 6-7 points. And this is a young state, it's a diverse state, which does bode well here for Democrats. In Ohio and Iowa, these are states that flipped to Trump in 2016. These are states that we were expecting them to flip, but not by the margins they did. These will be closer states, I think, this go around. And I think Joe Biden has a unique appeal here to states like Iowa and Ohio, and he will definitely pull this pretty close. I think Iowa could be a state that flips to Joe Biden just because of that Senate race between incumbent Joni Ernst and Theresa Greenfield. But we'll see how this plays out. And I think these are states that are probably one of the most primed to flip. If we go now to the tilt states, again, this is how I'm going to be categorizing these true toss-ups. So remaining, we have Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nebraska second, and Maine second. If we go ahead, we're going to fill in, we'll start here with Nebraska second. I would give this right now as a tilt to Joe Biden. It's going to be very close, though. We've seen Donald Trump really start to pour in some resources into Nebraska, and I think it's probably going to be very closely related to how Iowa goes. I think if Iowa is won by Donald Trump by a sizable amount, by let's say 3, 4, 5 points, I think that we'll see Nebraska second probably also narrowly go to Donald Trump like it did in 2016. However, we have seen Joe Biden up here, and I would expect for Joe Biden to carry this very narrowly on Election Day. If we head over towards Maine second, right now I would give that a tilt towards Donald Trump. He won this big time back in 2016, but this is another area that is very primed to go to Joe Biden. We have the Maine second for the House that flipped from Republicans to Democrats. Jared Golden is doing pretty well here in Maine second, and he could definitely help to carry Joe Biden over the top here in Maine second. So I would keep an eye on this. This is one that I'm not too sold that Donald Trump could win, but we don't have a lot of quality polling, so right now I'll give it a tilt, but this is one that I think Joe Biden could definitely win. Going over towards North Carolina, I'm going to give this tilt towards Donald Trump. North Carolina seems to be what Democrats always think we have the potential to win. We saw this starting back in '04 when John Kerry put John Edwards on the ticket and ended up losing the state, I think, by double digits. Obama did win this in '08, lost it in '12, Clinton lost it in '16. And we did see some pretty strong polling here for Clinton in North Carolina going up to the election, even through the Comey letter. So, and ended up losing the state by like 3 or 4 points, I believe. Joe Biden, I think, has the potential to win North Carolina, but Donald Trump, I think, at the end of the day, when we head to November 3rd, I think that he's going to carry this state. That's not to say that the Senate race won't help Joe Biden out, but I think at the top of the ticket, we're going to see it's probably going to be a late call, but I think it will be for Donald Trump. Going over to the state of Wisconsin, this is a state that many political analysts were very surprised with in 2016. It's a state everyone's watching. Right now, I'm going to give it a tilt towards Joe Biden. I'm not necessarily sold that Joe Biden's going to win this by 8 points like some polls are showing right now. This is going to be a close state. It's going to be one that's decided by 3 points. If Joe Biden wins it, it's by 3 points. I think if Donald Trump wins it, it's by a point or two. It's going to be a close state, I think. We do see some encouraging numbers, though, for the Democrats. We see that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are in the state pretty regularly now, campaigning. So I do think it should go to Joe Biden, but this is going to be a state that I think very narrowly goes to Joe Biden. I think Donald Trump has the potential to win this. With that, that puts Joe Biden over the top. Last but not least, we have these two states of my home state right now, Pennsylvania, and then Florida. We'll go down to Florida first. I'm going to give this a tilt to Joe Biden. It's going to be close, though, and it makes me nervous to do that. It's kind of like the situation with Maine second, just kind of reversed here. I think Donald Trump has a very good shot to win this. And actually, we're going to put it as a tilt to Donald Trump. We've seen Joe Biden has some pretty impressive poll numbers here. But this is going to become very close, and Florida tends to kind of switch here towards Republicans in the closing weeks of a campaign. We saw this in 2018 with the Senate and with the governorship in a big Democratic year. We didn't see Democrats carry this state. So this is one to watch. I think it really is 50-50 as in any other presidential year. And in Pennsylvania, we'll give that a tilt towards Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden wins the state by more than 2 or 3 points, and I don't think Donald Trump wins here by more than 1. It's going to be a very close state. I know here in central Pennsylvania where I am, we've been seeing some pretty impressive ground game efforts here by the Democrats, but Donald Trump's support in the T region from along northern Pennsylvania and through central Pennsylvania is very much alive and well. So we'll see. I think Pennsylvania is going to be a state that's called late, and I think it's ultimately going to go to Joe Biden, but we'll see. I have this election right now going 290 Joe Biden, 248 for Donald Trump. We'll see how the closing weeks shape up. This map, and I think I've tried to do my best to kind of explain where it is I'm sitting with everything. I think it's very possible that we could see a couple of states that I've categorized flip around a little bit, and it's very possible. This isn't my final prediction by any stretch of the imagination. This is just how I would rate things right now. So thank you so much for watching this video. You can follow me on Twitter at BlueDogPolitics to get my latest thoughts and predictions and evaluations, if you will. And I'm always tweeting over there. So have a nice and safe one. Keep it tuned to Blue Dog Politics, and I'll see you here next time.